right, warm up done, workout, let's go. Monday, April 27th. The workout today is a full body broken up into two parts. Each are for 7 minutes. So relatively short with 2 to 3 minute rest in between part A and part B. So because it's only 7 minutes, I want you to go. I want you to go, 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 nice and hard for each of those 7 minutes. So first 7 minutes, you're gonna do 2 movements. The movements are going to be bear crawls. You're gonna go 10 forward and 10 backwards. And then you're going to do bent over rows. You can do 10 repetitions. Now, depending on the overall fitness and speed, depending on how much weight you're using for the rows, you can easily do 7 to 10 rounds in this 7 minute period. So it's gonna catch up to you pretty quickly, especially on that row. When we're doing that bent over row, you're gonna feel it, just a lot of fatigue building up in your muscles, in your back, in your lats, but also in your arms. So you're not gonna need a ton of weight for those bent over rows. If you have options on weight, you might start on the light side and try and build up. If you start heavy, you might have to come down a little bit. So whatever the case might be. So again, it'll be 7 minutes. You're gonna do 10 bear crawls going forward, 10 bear crawls coming backwards, and then you are going to do 10 bent over rows. So how that'll look is get my bear crawl position here. So knees at 90 degrees, knees just a couple inches off the ground, and just short steps. Doesn't have to be very long, maybe 6-inch steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if actually moving forward and backward is just too challenging for you, we can just do it in place. So instead of actually moving forward and backwards, I can just be in position here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and continue. If you're gonna do it stationary, then I want you to do 20, okay? If you can do it stationary, I want you to do 20. And then this could also be done, the stationary version, if you need to, could also be done off of a raised object. So again, if getting on the ground isn't gonna work for you, just in the stationary, or on this raised object, same thing, where I just alternate right and left, picking them up off the ground. And that stationary, doing that stationary movement, but off of an elevated object. All right. Now for the bent over row portion, again, if you've got kettlebells, dumbbells, dumbbells would do the same thing. If you've been working with, these water jugs, individual water jugs full of water, these are nice and simple. So nice and tall, pull the shoulders down and back, abs tight, spine neutral, drive your hips back as far as they'll go. And from here, we're gonna pull everything in nice and tight. As we make that pull, you essentially want to think about your hands coming up right here along this outer portion of your thighs, so that your hands are going to finish essentially in line with your belly button coming across here. That's going to get a really big activation going all the way down the length of that muscle. It's going to really maximize that contraction. As opposed to pulling up towards your chest, then you're going to get more into these smaller muscles up here near the neck and the top of the shoulders. We want to isolate these big guys back here. And so you'll do, again, whatever, if you've got dumbbells, kettlebells, these water jugs, whatever the case might be, and doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, continuing to pull the shoulders down and back away from the ears. Always, 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 everything you do, right? Shoulders down and back away from the ears. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now, if you've been working with like an odd object, such as something like this, then your range of motion is going to be reduced a little bit because of the odd object. That's okay. Just as best you can, just basically taking this object and just kind of sliding it right up your thighs, and contacting your stomach. This workout, it's not. If you only have one object, This would not be the workout to do like 10 repetitions in your right arm and then 10 repetitions in your left arm, because it is a relatively short time period, only 7 minutes. We want to get just as many rounds as possible. So this is where we want to be working both arms at the same time. Okay, and then of course, you guys know my favorite is just a good old rock. And just trying not to, with the rock, I'm probably going to go with a wider stance so that I don't, tear up my legs, tear up my shins as I make this pull, and then pulling right to my belly button. All right. So that'll be part A, part 1, or whatever, however you want to think about it. 7 minutes. Bear crawls, 10 forward, 10 back, and in 10 rows, and just boom, just go, 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 go. So you can get 7 to 10 rounds in 7 minutes. All right, then rest a few minutes, and then you're going to do, the next thing is also basically two movements. The first one that we're going to do is a variation of something we've done in the past. So we're going to establish our plank position, and just like with that row, we're thinking about pulling those shoulders down and back away from the ears. Always in that plank position, that push-up position, we want to think about pulling those shoulders away from the ears. We don't want to be in that plank position and shrugging, right? So I don't want to be in this plank position and doing one of these. I want to be in this plank position and pulling my shoulders away from my ears. So this is going to be going to call it a rotating mountain climber. So I'll start with my right knee out in that Spider-Man position, as cranked out as far as I can. I'm going to bring it across to that cross body position and then bring it back, and that'll be 1 rep. We want to have a slight pause at either side of it, okay? And it's gonna be taxing on your shoulders and particularly on your obliques. So what this will look like, so I start here, I drive this knee up as high as possible. This is my starting point. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll also feel that a lot in this outer portion of your thigh and glute in those abductors. Especially as you push that leg out to the side, you're definitely going to feel that contraction. So again, that was 5 on the right, and then I would do 5 on the left. And these, of course, these can be done off of this, elevated object, where we're doing that same motion, but just, off of a chair or something like that, off of a counter. Okay, from there, so I'll be in that plank position, pull those shoulders down and back away from the ears. I'll do 5 with the right, and I'll do 5 with the left. Then I'm going to do 5 pause squats. Now, I want you to, with these pause squats, I want to work on your depth. So if I am, just real quick with the kettlebell. So I'll hold, if you're using an object, don't have to necessarily use an object, but if I'm using this object, I want to sink down as deep as I possibly can. I'm going to hold this for a second, 3 seconds. When I'm in that bottom position, think about bringing that chest up, pulling those shoulders down, maintaining that neutral spine as best as I possibly can, and then standing back up. If I have, an odd object, such as the water jug or a rock, I'm going to hug it up here. I'm going to keep it high just so that I can give my legs and some space. Keep those arms up out of the way. Sink down as deep as possible. What I like about that is that it really forces me to drive my elbows up. And when I drive my elbows up, it really helps to get my torso as vertical as possible and reduces the chances that I'm going to collapse over. So we don't want any collapse. We want to be nice and tall, belly tight, shoulders down and back. And again, with that odd object, whatever it might be, the water jug or the rock, it's really going to force you to get those elbows up and maintain that really long spine position. Now, if you're not working with any weights, and let's just say that your squat position is typically here, we want to work, on getting that a little bit deeper. And we can use, some sort of guide, right? So let's just say I normally squat to this position here. If I normally squat here and up, then over the course of these 7 minutes, I want to work to, say, get into this position here. If I do this without falling on my butt. So I'll drop down, I'll find that, whatever that new bottom position is, and stand. I might even rest on there, right? I need to I get down there, I feel a little wobbly. Let me just go ahead and rest for a second, kind of make sure that my positions are all good, and then go ahead and stand up. Especially as you get to those new bottom positions, right? As I get to that new bottom position here, I will really want to make sure that my toes are really driving into the ground, activating those arches, knees are out, getting those glutes nice and strong, and then I'm bringing my torso is as tall as possible, but I'm going to hinge forward just a little bit so I can get into these hip creases as best as I can. So one more time from the side. Again, I hit that bottom position. Ankle mobility, working on that as I get deeper. Knee mobility, my hips right here, hip flexion, thoracic extension, bringing my torso forward just that little bit, just so that I can work on those, deeper positions, that greater range of motion. So, yeah, you may be working with an object, doing those squats, holding some weight, or you may be working with no weight at all and working off of a slightly deeper range of motion as you go through those squats. So again, that second part, 7 minutes. In that plank position, you will do 5 where you starting position, bring it across, pause, 1, 2, and again you'll do 5 on the left and 5 on the right, and then you're going to do 5 of those nice deep pause squats. Again, depth is going to be up to you as far as how deep you're going. Again, as many times as you can go in 7 minutes. So, there you go. Have a wonderful time with it. Enjoy, as best as possible. You'll feel good when you get done, I promise. And yeah, get after it, get after it, get after it. See it.